Battlefield 6 has a pretty strong learning curve for those who are brand new to the series, and even for older fans of the game like myself, there's still a lot to adjust to. By the end of this video, I'm going to make you a better player. Before we get started, drop a comment down below and let me know what your favorite map in Battlefield 6 is so far. The biggest area I see players struggling in is understanding the way the weapon attachments work in the game. I definitely can see there's a lot of Call of Duty influencing some of the attachment decisions that people make, because some of the class setups I have seen don't really follow a system of any kind. Most importantly, before you make any edits to a weapon in Battlefield 6, it's important to understand the different components to each stat the game offers. The most misunderstood stat so far is the difference between control and precision, and these two are just as important as rate of fire and damage. Precision is the stat that affects how much bloom a weapon has. If you've ever been firing at an enemy and you swear your sights are locked onto the guy but you're still missing your shots, this is why. Take a look at the difference between this M4A1 class setup versus the AK205 setup. 28 to 85 is a significant precision difference between the two weapons, and you will notice it in game. Control is how much recoil a weapon has and how much it actually physically moves while you're firing the weapon. This controls a completely different portion of the weapon mechanics in the game, and I've seen a lot of players creating classes thinking these stats are the same, and they're not. They control two different parts completely. Mobility and muzzle velocity are also important to keep in mind when creating new weapon builds, because they play into each other just like precision and control do. Mobility refers to how quickly and easily you can move while aiming down sights, and muzzle velocity affects how quickly a bullet moves and how much damage drops at longer ranges. And this leads me into my earlier point of creating a system and strategy for your builds. If you're a player who rushes the objectives or takes enemies head on, you want to create a weapon build with high mobility and high rate of fire. Battlefield is a game where you can bottleneck yourself pretty easily. It's not Call of Duty. You can't jump or drop shot as defensive maneuvers if you have the wrong weapon build for a close range situation. If you're a player who sits back and only takes medium range and long range gun battles, then you're going to want to build a weapon with high muzzle velocity with the control and precision stats as high as you can build them. I see a lot of players building long range weapons just to use them at close range and try to take objectives and then wonder why they're dying so much. When you pair all of this with a good playstyle, you can transform your experience completely. I used to be someone who would run and gun a lot in Battlefield, but it seems like it's either you're very good at it or you're not. Over the years of playing, I've developed my own strategy, where it's based mostly on taking cover and finding easy open shots to take instead of forcing them. You're going to notice if you take your time and stay in cover, as opposed to forcing gunfights head on, that you'll die less frequently and your KD will improve every match. And in game modes like Conquest or Breakthrough, where deaths matter for your team, you will find that you'll perform better in games more frequently. You should also experiment with the different roles in the game to help your playstyle even more. For example, if you're someone who's not very good at close range combat, the assault style probably isn't for you. If you're someone who's a team player and you want to support your team's efforts of winning each match, the support role is definitely your type. This ties into creating solid weapon setups for yourself, because you don't want a weapon like the L110 in an assault class while you're rushing flags against players with SMGs. The major point here is that you have to help yourself in this game, because you can easily make it harder for yourself and for your team. Another huge problem area for new and old players is spawn points. I'm very surprised that after all the years I've been playing, that this is still an issue for most players. There's a good saying that just because you can doesn't mean you should, and this relates to the spawn system in Battlefield very well. A very bad habit to get into is to spawn on your squad mates every time, and to spawn on contested objectives every time. You do not want to do this for every spawn you have. You will die very frequently. But the most important part isn't even about dying, it's about reading the map and reading the plays you can create to set you and your team up for success. Because what you never truly know is what your squad members' current circumstances are. You don't really know how they got there or why they are there to begin with. Was there a sniper that made them get behind cover, or a tank that's right next to them about to launch a cannon into the building they're in? Always make sure your spawn points are in a safe spot so that you can make the most out of every life you have. I typically spawn away from the combat most times because it does allow me to process the combat better, and I can make informed decisions about the best places to be before I make my move. If any of these tips helped you in today's video, let me know down below in the comments, drop a like, and I will see you guys in the next video.